Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today we have another kit. This one's from Rye Field Models. This is a 1/35 scale, new tooled Leopard. It's the Canadian LEOPARD 2A6M. Let's take a look what we get inside this one. So it's a standard box from Rye Field, and the kit number is going to be 5076. So we have some CAD sides. We can have all the stuff open and we can have it closed. It's this side of the box, pretty standard. More CAD work. So we have workable suspension, workable track links. Back of the tank, we have folded mud guards and open, and then different parts for the vehicle itself. Really damn cool. This side is pretty much the same as the other side. It's standard Rye Field way they do things. It's just going to be loaded with plastic. We have this piece which is your canopy, which is protected nicely in bubble wrap. Looks like we have a correction sheet, a worksheet, and then it's just loaded with plastic. So let's take a closer look. So first thing, we're going to take a look at the instructions. Get a little bit of light around here. So you've got your symbols as standard, just to pay attention to everything. ×2, glue, not cement removed, that kind of thing. A little bit of warnings and safety guide. Straight off the bat, everything is in the kit, so good way of checking to make sure everything's there. I have already checked it. I did do this video once already, but somehow me going through my files, making space, I accidentally delete the video, so we have to redo it again. So straight off the bat, we're working on the lower hull. We have the lower hull, two sides, rear and armour plate. The rear of the hull is segments in red. I believe they've changed it up slightly. Now pieces in red are glue points. Anything in blue is what you're currently working on, so it's like basically the next step. So photo etch, or is that a normal grill? That looks like a normal grill actually. There is photo etch later. Next step will be suspension arms. As I say, it is workable because there are torsion bars. And then we have the caps for the drive sprocket to go onto, which would be the transmission covers, I imagine. Little detail parts here. We do have a warning part. Fix the part after the track is being done. So it's basically this piece is to do with torsion and adjusting the track tension. That's what that is in real life. This is the assembly for it in this little box, how to put it together. It does require no glue because you will need to adjust the arm. Road wheels going on, pretty standard. There's two halves and you get a poly cap, so that's going to be a nice touch. You can paint these, weather them, and then you can paint them weather all behind there and pop the wheels back on, so it all blends in nicely. The back of the vehicle, they do give you some little pictures as you build along, just to roughly work out, are you doing it right? And then there's a little bits of detail. Working on the tracks, there's a little jig, and you have the upper and lower pad, and then you have the pins. And that's how it's made. Again, drive sprocket, 3 sections and a poly cap. They're not asking you to glue it together too much because you want it moving. And I would not glue this on neither to the tank because you want it free so you can adjust the movement of the tracks. These tracks are meant to be workable. You only do, according to this, it's meant to be clipped together, but we shall see about that. You can buy aftermarket for this kit, more photo etch, resin tracks, and the bar armour itself, which we come to in a minute. You can buy that as photo etch, but I'm not going to bother with none of that. I'm just going to do this straight out of the box. Upper hole, a couple of holes you need to drill out, 1.4, 1mm, 1mm, and then there's some more detailed parts. Spare tracks, tools, anything in yellow is the photo etch parts. As I say, blue is what you're currently working on, and the red is the glue points. Some front defenders. We have this armour plate here as well. We have what looks like a light on both sides. This is the spare tracks. This is a hatch and cupolas and vision ports. And this is what it looks like, with some photo etch parts on it as well. Touching those small sub-assemblies that you built here, these are these segments going into place. We have what looks like the front plate, cover, engine deck, and photo etch parts going in. Handrail. We have what looks like another section. This looks like part of the engine deck, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so these two pieces you built previously can go on the back. They are the engine deck covers. Now you can have the choice of having the side of the tank with it open or closed hatches here. More tools and cleaning rods. If they're the same colour as the vehicle, you can put them on now, but I'm not too sure about that. Your spades and extra tools, again, just check to make sure they're not the same colour. Otherwise, just do them separately. That's how I do mine. Upper and lower hull can be all attached together now, the standard. Mirrors, folded or open, is optional. And we have very first part of this side skirt armour going together, and it's just a little bit of diagram of showing it how it goes and what it should look like. This is the outer frame, and then the actual four segments going in the middle. The side armour going in as normal. Remove tabs. Do not cut away from choose the 2021 upgraded section, so just pay attention to that. Going back to page 9, which was here, sorry, they did miss out a section which was here. Don't forget to drill out your holes, which I believe they must have mixed out in the instructions completely. And step 8, yeah, I think it's to do with this as well, so just remember this this piece as well. Going back to this section here, make sure it's done. We have the optional part of folded or unfolded mud guards, the tow cable going in. More detailed parts of these sections here is for the bar armour to go on the side. So the tank gets painted in its normal colours, which I believe are NATO colours, NATO green, brown, red, or brown, green and black even, sorry. And then these segments here are done in the tans, like desert sand. This is the bar armour itself, and you have your brackets. Again, this is all made as one piece, and then you've got your little brackets. It's more than sufficient. It looks pretty damn good to me in plastic. As I say, you can buy the upgrade set and do this in photo etch. Just far too fiddly, and trying to glue it together is going to be very difficult, so I'm just going to use it as plastic. This is the sand colour as well. Attaching all your bar armour as standard. Repeating the process on the other side. The back of the tank has some bar armour as well. The turret itself is one piece, a couple of holes to drill out again, 1.0, 1.2, 1.0. These are vision ports. These are open or closed options, and these are range finders by the looks of things. This I'm not sure, could be another range finder. Touching those cupolas and vision ports, they go from the inside upwards. Hatches, again open or closed. These big boxes at the back. More hatches and small boxes. This one here has some machine guns in it. Unfortunately, those machine guns are moulded in, so I'm just going to have that closed. Just trying to paint those is going to be quite tricky. I would have preferred the machine guns to be separate. More storage, open or closed options. The actual gun breech itself comes as 4 parts, top, and then we have the back of the breech. This is what it looks like, and here, just to making sure you've got it correct. Some support brackets, lower section of the turret and the turret ring. Lower section of the turret, gun breech and upper part of the turret all can go together now. Couple of poly caps, don't glue them into place, just so you can have your gun movable. Back of the tank we have more storage. This is optional again, for it to be open or closed. Again, just nice little pictures just to show you doing it right. Smoke dischargers, which is pretty damn good. We have this winch type assembly. You can have it stowed away or open. It doesn't have no cable, so you're going to probably have to add that yourself. This is more storage boxes. This is the winch assembly. These are more sections, more storage baskets. This is part of the front of the tank, I believe. Yep, this is again the other side. So these are these two triangles at the front of the Leopard. Such a sleek looking turret, and it's quite a sleek looking tank. I think it's one of the best looking tanks out there. These sections again are the brackets for your bar armor for the turret. Again, you don't have to build this with the bar armor. You can just have this as a normal Leopard. You can do that out of the box. Repeating the process on the other side, attaching all your bar armor. Again, just making sure you've got the brackets in the right place, because one of them sits in between the smoke dischargers. More bar armor. Working on your two machine guns. This one looks like from World War II, the MG60 or whatever it is. This one I don't know what the Leopards, I don't know what the actual guns are on the Leopard. Anyone knows what the Canadians use? As I say, this one looks like a M60 to me. This one I don't know. Slide molded barrel, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts plus the photo etch ring. This is your gas block. A canopy for the crew. This is optional again, you don't have to use it. Aerials fully deployed. If you wanted folded aerials, cut the aerial halfway down and leave 8mm in length for folded aerials. And your paint guide straight off the bat is calling out for Mr. Hobby Colours, which is C519, C521 and C520. Going to do my reference to check these out. They were NATO colours, so it's NATO green, NATO brown and NATO black. This again, this is a diagram of all the stuff open and more CAD work and nice looking parts. So straight off the bat we just work our way through the screws. So in here is your canopy. This is in the bag, protect this little point. We have got ejector pins you may want to take care of, but I wouldn't worry about it too much, because if you've got your canopy down you're not going to see it. So this is optional part. It is a nice touch. So let's pop that back in. I am going to build mine like it's depicted on the instructions and the box with all the stuff. I believe this Leopard was with the armour was during Afghan war and stuff. So it should be quite easy because the part's already been looked at once. We have a photo etch. Here we have a resin part. I can't remember what that was for. Rubber polycaps and rubber fenders. Again, if you want these closed you have to slice it and then just glue it in place. Plastic vision ports and mirrors and lenses, pretty standard stuff. The tow cable sadly comes as a rope. I will swap this out for cable if I have enough, but it's pretty good, it's not too bad. This sprue is sprue B, so this is your back of your tank. These are engine decks, more hatches, side skirts. Standard Rye Field plastic, pretty good, super fine moulding. I think they're some of the best tanks out there from Rye Field. They're one of the leading manufacturers for tanks. Pretty damn good. Here you can see these segments have got anti-slip built into them. Pretty good detail to me. This is going to have photo etch on top of it. So these are giant fans for the engine. These are the more hatches with anti-slip on them. Pretty damn good. More hatches with vision ports or cupolas, however you want to pronounce them. Side hatches and a little bit of the armour. And here was detail parts. This was sprue A, so this is more spare track parts, kind of. I think these go, and then these sit on top of the tracks. Tracks sit on top of these, sorry, these are the clamps. This piece is your back of your tank. This is that giant grill. We have the grab handle, some tools, cleaning rods, a couple of suspension parts here. And then we've got more brackets and just fine detail parts all over. This part is to do your clamping your turret into place, the transport mode. We have a slide molded section of 2 pieces here. Pretty good. This sprue again is going to have the main gun on itself. As you can see here, is somewhat slow molded this end. So this part's slow molded and this is normal molded, but it is pretty damn good. It has that texture on it over the gas block. These are your mud guards again in plastic. This is part of your turret. This is your breech is slide molded downwards. Detail parts, some more hatches down the bottom of boxes. Is the way it's done. This is sprue B, E, sorry, pretty damn good, nicely done. Nice, they give you resealable bags as well. This is sprue N, so it's quite a large sprue, big square one. This section here, I can't remember what was in there. I had to take it off because it was quite loose. I can't remember what it was. No, sorry, tell a lie, I didn't take that off. The manufacturers do that. That's where your canopy goes in this here, and they take it off for you, and they bag it up in this. So we have the lower section of the armour. This is more front armour plate. This is where your machine guns, like I mentioned, they were sadly moulded in. I would have preferred the machine guns to be separate, so I could have painted them and then dropped them in afterwards, because that's just very tricky to paint and weather. We have the machine guns assembly down the bottom. Anyone knows what these are? Like I say, one of them looks like an M60 from World War II, but the other one I don't know. These are all detail parts, very fine. So that's that sprue. It is sprue N. Here we have sprue D, so this is the lower turret here. More storage part of there anyway. These are the triangle parts on the tank at the front. Here is your turret ring, nice teeth. So it's going to take a little bit of weathering and make a little bit silvery colour just to give them wear on the teeth. These are more anti-slip sections, which is moulded in the plastic, and these are more hatches. These are the more triangle parts, so these segments here go over these are the sides of the turret at the front. Again, anti-slip on the turret. Lower section won't have it, the upper section will. Here we have the lower section of the tank. So this is the hull, is sprue E, F. Lower hull. We have the weld seams, very nicely done. Escape hatches, pretty good. The side of the hull, that's very, very good moulding. Can understand why they do it in separate parts. There's no way you could do this a bathtub hull, not with that detail. Otherwise you'd end up having to do all these separately. Don't forget to cut this out because you've got your transmission covers to go over this, and this is where your dry sprocket will go. So nicely done. Here is your turret. Nothing fancy, just the main turret. It's got all that anti-slip all over it, all over the top. So very nice. And here we have the wheels, suspension arms. So there's two of these. This is sprue C, very large sprue again. So here's your torsion bars. They are workable. And how a torsion bar works is the actual bar itself twists, which allows the actual arm to go up and down, but the bar twists. Yeah, it was designed back in World War II and they still use it today. Very good design. Road wheels, they don't look too bad. The rubber is moulded already on the wheels as well, so they're going to take up a little bit of masking possibly. And this is the outer, and these are the inners. Small spares and wheels, return rollers, tools. No, these are not tools. Sorry, these are suspension arms. Tools are up the top. There's your tools. More clamps and declamps, hatches, some fine detail parts there. Looks like an air filter. What else we got? And that's pretty much it. We have two of these sprues as well. And these are sprue K. So these are just detail parts. Most of these parts all in here are the brackets for the bar armour itself. And there's slide moulded here to get that detail effect, and the side of the boxes. This has anti-slip all over it as well. These very fine detail parts, taking these off the sprue, be super careful because they can snap very easy. We have slide moulded here, and that's for the MG60 or whatever it is, machine gun. I swear that's from World War II. It definitely looks like it. So that's another one of my guns. And then more detail parts in this one. This is sprue G. So we have the framing for some of the storage baskets. These are your hatches. These are the hatches itself. These are the mounting points for the machine gun. We have more of those funny looking pieces that the tracks sit on. So pretty good. In here is the tracks. So we have all of these are the rubber pads, and these are the pins and the jig on the end. They look pretty good. Supposedly they are workable if you do them correctly. So we shall see. This one I'm just going to leave in the bag as well. It's just all of the bar armour. As you can see, as I say, you can get the upgrade set for this and do it in photo etch. I don't see the point. This looks more than sufficient, and it looks very, very good in plastic. And gluing it together, I take my hat off that people can do it in photo etch, but I'm just going to do this in plastic. And the last piece is the upper hull section. Very nice. Don't forget to cut this out because you've got your engine deck covers, your turret goes here. Take this support out. Again, this has nice detail all over your boxes. You've got your weld seams here, anti-slip parts here, all the way down. We have a giant piece to go over the front here. More anti-slip detail. Looks pretty good. as standard on the inside. I'm not going to see it. That looks pretty good. It's quite a wide tank. It's not very long, but it's quite wide. And the last piece before I forget it is the photo etch, which is pretty good. You've got your grills. These are parts of your storage basket and stuff. These are detail parts, whatever. Some little handles, so just be careful using those because they're very easy to ping off and lose them. And then as for markings, there's hardly any at all. A couple of serial numbers and Canadian leaf, and that's it. The photo etch is not too bad. It's not overly thick. It's pretty reasonable. So there you are, my friends. There's another kit from Rye Field Models. Looks pretty damn good. I like it. It's going to be a nice kit when it's done. It's a Canadian Leopard. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.